In a world where everyone is shouting to be seen, true power lies in silence. The more you talk, the more you leak your energy, and every dream, every plan begins to lose its sacred force when it is exposed to the noise of others. Learn to protect your inner world like a sacred temple. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your pain, your blessings, or your next move. The ones who speak less are not weak. They are wise enough to understand that silence is not emptiness, it is strength under control. When you learn to keep your life private, your energy stops scattering. Your peace grows, your focus sharpens, and your destiny unfolds quietly away from the eyes of envy and judgment. Remember, the tree grows in silence before it bears fruit in public. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle drain inside you after explaining too much, after telling someone your dreams, your fears, your next big step. It's like a quiet exhaustion that seeps into your spirit. The kind that doesn't come from physical effort, but from giving away too much of your unseen energy. Protect your energy, not just your plans, because what you speak about constantly begins to lose its sacred fire. Your energy is the essence of your life force. It's what fuels your purpose, your focus, your creativity. Every word you speak releases a fragment of that essence into the world. When you share your plans with everyone, you're scattering pieces of your power across different minds, different energies, and not all of them wish you well. Some will silently doubt you, some will envy you, and some will unknowingly drain your momentum with their thoughts alone. It's not about fearing others. It's about understanding that energy is real. The invisible exchange between people is constant, and your life force deserves protection. Think of a candle burning in the wind. If it's left exposed, even a small breeze can extinguish it. But when you cover it gently, it burns longer, stronger, and steadier. Your energy works the same way. The more you expose it, the easier it is for distractions, opinions, and negativity to blow out your inner flame. Protecting your energy means creating boundaries, saying less, and learning to feel the power of your own silence. When you guard your energy, you begin to notice something miraculous. Your intuition grows louder. You make decisions from clarity, not from pressure. You stop chasing validation and start building self-trust. You realize that you don't need to explain yourself to anyone because truth doesn't demand an audience. You move differently, you speak differently, and you attract it differently. You stop fighting to be understood because your peace becomes more valuable than attention. People often misunderstand silence. They think it means passivity or weakness. But silence is not the absence of power. It's the refinement of it. The river that runs deep makes the least noise. The lion does not roar while it hunts. Stillness is not emptiness. It's mastery. When you stop giving your energy to every conversation, every conflict, every person seeking to drain you, you begin to rise in unseen ways. Your presence itself becomes magnetic. You must understand that your energy is your currency in this universe. Every thought, every word, every emotion is an investment. Spend it wisely. Stop wasting it on proving your worth or explaining your vision. Let your actions carry your message. Let your results announce your strength. The quieter your path, the more focused your energy becomes. The more focused it becomes, that the faster it manifests into reality. So from now on, protect your energy the way a guardian protects a sacred temple. Not everyone deserves entry. Not every voice deserves your response. Choose stillness over noise. Choose reflection over reaction. Every time you resist the urge to over-explain or overshare, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You gather your scattered light back into your center. And from that center, everything becomes clear: who you are, what you want, and where you are meant to go. Remember this: not every truth needs to be spoken. Not every plan needs to be announced. What is sacred must be protected in silence until it is strong enough to stand in the light. So speak less, move wisely, and hold your energy close to your heart. Because the one who learns to protect their energy does not just guard their plans, they guard their destiny. There is a strange and quiet danger in being seen too much. The moment you begin to rise, I start to follow. Some look at you with admiration, others with love, but a few silently with envy. And envy doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it hides in the hearts of those who clap for you. That's why silence is your shield. When you keep your progress private, you protect the sacred energy of your journey from the unseen shadows that feed on your light. Envy is not always loud or obvious. It can live in a friend's curious question, in a relative's subtle comparison, or in the quick shift of tone when you share good news. It's not about blaming others, it's about understanding human nature. Not everyone has mastered their emotions, and when they see someone growing faster, shining brighter, or walking with purpose, something unsettles inside them. Their unhealed parts start whispering, "Why not me?" And in that whisper, energy shifts. That's why the more you speak, the more doors you open for that invisible energy to enter your space. Silence closes those doors. Silence keeps your blessings safe. Think of your life like a garden. If you plant new seeds and immediately invite the whole world to see them, many feet will trample over the soil, some unintentionally, others out of curiosity, and a few with quiet resentment. But if you plant those seeds in silence, water them privately, and let the sun and time do their work, they grow strong before anyone even knows they exist. That is how protection works. Unseen, calm, patient. You don't owe the world explanations about your growth. You don't need to justify your peace or display your progress for it to be real. The moment you stop speaking about every step you take, you begin to move with freedom. You stop worrying about opinions. You stop performing for applause. You start living for truth, not for attention. And that freedom is powerful. It allows you to grow without interference. There is a kind of strength that only silence can build. When you learn to keep your mouth shut and your spirit guarded, your energy stops leaking through unnecessary conversation. You stop giving people the power to shape your mood or doubt your vision. You become your own protector. You begin to realize that not every good moment needs to be shared. Not every success needs to be announced. The moment you tell the world everything, you give them something to attack. But when you stay silent, your peace becomes untouchable. Silence also allows divine timing to unfold without resistance. When you stop broadcasting your progress, you give life the space to move things quietly for you. There is no need to explain what you are doing when the results will soon speak louder than words ever could. Keep in mind the loudest ones often fall first because they invite too many eyes too early. But those who build quietly rise steadily beyond noise and beyond reach. When you begin to understand this, you stop feeling the need to prove yourself. You begin to enjoy the comfort of privacy. You feel the peace that comes from knowing that your life no longer belongs to the judgment or curiosity of others. You create a shield around yourself, made not of anger or pride, but of calm silence. A shield that reflects negativity without absorbing it. A shield that keeps your focus pure and your energy protected. So hold your silence like a sword. Guard your blessings like sacred jewels. Speak less about your victories and let your actions echo in the hearts of those who watch. The less they know, the safer your spirit becomes. Because silence doesn't just protect you, it elevates you. It makes you untouchable to envy, invisible to judgment, and unshakable in your purpose. The one who walks in silence walks with peace, and peace is the greatest protection of all. Some people listen not to understand you, but to measure you. They listen to gather pieces of your story, not to hold them with care, but to carry them elsewhere. This is why not every listener is loyal. You must learn to discern who deserves access to your inner world. Because every time you open your heart, you open a doorway into your energy. And not every soul who stands before that doorway enters with pure intentions. You felt it before. That strange discomfort after you've shared something deeply personal. You walk away from the conversation, and instead of feeling lighter, you feel exposed. It's because you gave a part of yourself to someone who wasn't ready or willing to protect it. Some people wear the mask of a friend but carry the heart of a spectator. They don't wish you harm, but they don't wish you better either. They simply observe, waiting to see if your story rises or falls. And in their curiosity, your energy begins to scatter. Words are sacred. Go ahead. Every time you speak about your dreams, your struggles, your victories, you release invisible power into the world. That power needs protection. When shared with the wrong ears, turns into noise, misunderstood, misused, or misjudged. This is why silence and discernment are not signs of distrust, but of wisdom. You are not being cold. You are being careful, because loyalty is not proven by presence, but by energy. The silent way someone holds your truth when you are not there to defend it. Think of a fire. When it's small, you shield it with your hands to keep the wind from extinguishing it. But if you invite everyone around to see it, soon the careless ones will step too close and their breath alone can blow it out. Your dreams, your ideas, your plans, they are fire. Until they are strong enough to stand on their own, they must be guarded from the careless breath of others. Some will offer warmth, others will offer wind. You must know the difference. Not every listener has earned the right to hear your truth. Some people listen only to repeat. Others listen to compare. A few listen to judge. But the rarest ones, they listen to understand, to protect, to help you rise higher. Those are the souls you keep close. You don't need many. One genuine listener is worth more than a crowd of curious ones. The rest you bless in silence and love from a distance. Loyalty is quiet. It's not in the promises people make when you are near, but in the silence they keep when you are not. The loyal ones don't need to broadcast your secrets to prove their importance. They don't gossip in your absence or question your dreams. They stand like mountains, firm, still, and steady, while others crumble in the noise of their own insecurity. But before you look for loyal listeners outside, learn to become one within yourself. Be your own confidant. Sit with your thoughts. Listen to your inner voice more than you speak them aloud. As you grow wiser, your circle becomes smaller, not because you have become arrogant, but because you have become aware. You realize that peace is worth more than approval, that trust must be earned, not assumed. You begin to speak only when necessary, and your words begin to carry weight because they are not scattered carelessly anymore. You stop feeding every ear with your truth and start feeding your soul with silence. So remember this, not every listener is loyal, and that's okay. Your truth is not meant for everyone. Protect your story like a sacred flame. Share it only with those who guard it with warmth, not wind. Because in a world full of noise and curiosity, your silence becomes your strength, your discernment becomes your protection, and your loyalty to your own peace becomes your greatest power. There is power in being unseen, power in being unpredictable, power in being mysterious. The moment people can read your every thought, predict your every move, or understand your every plan, they no longer respect your depth, they assume they already know you. But when you cultivate mystery, you hold an aura that cannot be explained, only felt. You become a presence that demands silence instead of noise, respect instead of curiosity. Mystery builds power because it creates distance between what others think they know about you and who you truly are becoming. The most powerful forces in the universe are invisible. You cannot see the wind, but you feel its strength. You cannot see electricity, but it lights entire cities. You cannot see faith, but it moves lives. The same is true for your energy. When you stop revealing everything, your emotions, your goals, your next steps, you begin to generate a quiet magnetic force. People feel it, but can't quite name it. That's the energy of someone who moves with purpose, but without explanation. Mystery keeps others guessing, but more importantly, it keeps you grounded. When you do not expose every part of yourself, you remain centered in your own being. You are not living for external validation or trying to prove your worth to the world. You move in silence, guided by something higher. Your intuition, your vision, your peace. The mystery you create is not about manipulation or secrecy. It's about self-respect. It's about understanding that not every detail of your journey is meant for public display. Some parts of your growth must be protected from the noise of the world. Because silence is the soil where power takes root. When you reveal everything, you give others the ability to influence your direction. Their opinions, expectations, and doubts begin to seep into your path. But when you keep certain things to yourself, you remain untouched by their projections. You keep the sacred connection between you and your purpose pure. And in that purity, your strength multiplies. The less you explain, the more they wonder. The less they know, the more you control the narrative of your own life. Mystery also commands respect in a world addicted to oversharing. Everyone wants to be seen, to be known, to be heard. But when you stand apart, calm, silent, self-contained, you become rare. And what is rare naturally becomes valuable. People lean in to understand you, but they never quite can. They sense something different. Not arrogance, not distance, but a quiet mastery over yourself. You don't need to announce your success. Your energy speaks it for you. You don't need to argue to prove your wisdom. Your composure proves it more deeply than words ever could. Mystery is also freedom. When no one knows your next step, No one can interfere with it. You can change, evolve, and grow without explanation. You can disappear for a while and return stronger, more focused, more aligned. Life flows differently. For those who understand this truth, they stop chasing attention and start channeling energy. Every word they choose to withhold strengthens their power. Every silence they hold adds to their peace. So do not fear being misunderstood, fear being too easily understood. The one who cannot be fully read can never be fully controlled. Let others wonder what you're thinking, where you're going, and how you keep growing. You owe no one an explanation for your evolution. You owe only your loyalty to the quiet path that builds your power from within. Walk in mystery. Let your silence become your language and your presence become your story. Remember, the ocean's surface looks calm, but its depth holds infinite power. Be that ocean, speak less, move with intention. And let the depth of your silence remind the world that true strength does not shout. It simply exists unshaken and unseen. Every dream begins as a quiet spark inside you, fragile, pure, sacred. But the moment you speak too soon, that spark begins to flicker. Words, though powerful, can also weaken the very energy that gives your vision life. Words can dilute manifestation. Every time you talk about what you are still building, you spread that energy outward, leaking the force that should have been directed inward. You trade creation for conversation, momentum for momentary excitement. When a seed is planted in the soil, it must remain buried in darkness until it is ready to rise. If you dig it up every day to show it to others, it dies. Your dreams work the same way. They need silence, patience, and protection. When you speak of them too early before they have formed roots, you expose them to doubt, to judgment, to energies that may not align with their growth. Even innocent questions or opinions can distort your vision, bending it away from the truth that was given only to you. There is an invisible law that governs creation. Energy flows where attention goes. When your attention is divided between speaking and doing, your power weakens. Manifestation is a process that thrives on focus, discipline, and faith. It's not the number of people who know your dream that determines its success. It's the purity of your intent and the silence of your devotion. Quieter you are about what you are manifesting, the stronger the current of energy that moves beneath the surface. Sometimes we talk about our goals because we crave acknowledgement. We want to feel the excitement, the validation, the sense that something is happening. But the truth is, every time you speak too soon, you release the energy of anticipation, and what could have become fuel turns into mere words. Talking gives the illusion of progress. Action creates real progress. Manifestation doesn't respond to promises. It responds to energy. Silent, steady, unwavering energy. Think of the greatest artists, inventors, and creators. They didn't announce every step. They disappeared into their work, hidden from the world, until the world had no choice but to see what silence had created. The universe respects secrecy. It rewards those who work in the shadows, who hold their vision like a sacred fire. When you nurture, that fire quietly grows hotter and brighter. But if you speak of it too soon, you invite winds that can easily blow it out. Your words are spells, and every spell carries weight. When you use them carelessly, you scatter your magic in directions that don't serve you. When you use them wisely, sparingly, intentionally, your manifestation becomes sharper, stronger, and unstoppable. Speak only when your creation is ready to stand in the light, not when it's still forming in the dark. Silence is not emptiness. It's a sacred container that holds the energy of what is yet to come. So the next time you feel the urge to tell someone your plans, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this because it's ready or because I want reassurance? Am I protecting my energy or giving it away for a moment of comfort? The most powerful manifestations grow in the soil of restraint. What you hold in silence multiplies. What you release too soon weakens. Learn to stay quiet while the universe arranges everything in your favor. Trust the process unfolding beyond what eyes can see. Let your energy build silently until it becomes undeniable. And when your dream finally appears in reality, it will speak for itself, louder than words, stronger than doubt, and clearer than any explanation you could ever give. Remember this. Every word you withhold strengthens the vibration of your vision. Speak less, do more. Let your silence carry the weight of your power. Because the ones who learn to hold their dreams in quiet faith are the ones whose manifestations never fade. They rise solid and unstoppable from the depth of stillness. True confidence does not shout. It doesn't need to prove, convince, or compete. It moves quietly like the wind that bends the trees but never demands attention for its power. To walk through life in quiet confidence is to know who you are without needing the world to agree. It is to be rooted so deeply in your truth that no opinion can shake your peace. But to reach that state, you must first become comfortable in the silence that most people fear. So many people mistake noise for strength. They rush to announce every move, to defend every choice, to demand recognition for every effort. But that kind of confidence is fragile. It needs an audience to survive. The moment applause stops, it collapses. Real confidence is built in solitude, truth. It's when you've fallen and no one is watching, yet you rise anyway. It's when you're doubted, but you continue walking the path you've chosen. Not because others believe in you, but because you believe in yourself. Quiet confidence is not about arrogance, it's about self. Certainty without self-display. You must learn to be still within yourself, to let your energy speak louder than your words. When you are grounded in quiet confidence, your presence alone communicates strength. You don't chase validation because you understand that what is truly valuable never needs to be announced. A diamond doesn't beg to be seen. It shines whether anyone looks or not. Likewise, your worth remains unchanged whether the world praises or ignores you. There's great peace in not needing to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your choices, your timing, or your direction to anyone. The universe understands what you're building, even if others do not. When you learn to be comfortable in quiet confidence, you no longer rush outcomes or compare your journey to others. You move like water, calm, steady, unstoppable. You no longer act from fear or insecurity, but from clarity and purpose. And that calm energy begins to draw everything meant for you. Quiet confidence is power under control. The warrior who knows he can fight but chooses peace. It's the artist who creates in silence until the work speaks for itself. It's the person who knows their potential but doesn't need to broadcast it. The world tries to lure you into constant performance. Always proving, always posting, always showing. But the one who can hold their power without displaying it has already mastered themselves. Becoming comfortable in quiet confidence also means trusting the process. You won't always be understood, and that's okay. You won't always be seen, but that's part of the preparation. The universe hides you when you are being shaped, covers you when you are being strengthened. Learn to embrace those seasons of invisibility. They are not punishment, they are protection. Silence prepares you to handle what noise would destroy. In this silence, you begin to realize that confidence isn't something you perform. It's something you embody. You start walking lighter, speaking less and observing more. You move with intention, not impulse. You no longer need to convince anyone of your greatness because your actions and your peace already reveal it. That is the moment you become magnetic. People feel something different about you. An energy that cannot be explained, only respected. So stop rushing to prove your worth. Stop explaining your vision to those who cannot see it. Stop announcing every move you make. Sit in the quiet and feel the strength that lives there. Because quiet confidence is not silence born of fear. It's silence born of mastery. When you know who you are, you no longer need to speak it. You become it. And when you become it, the world begins to notice. Not because you demanded attention, but because your energy now speaks in a language louder than words. Move in silence, walk with calm authority, and let your confidence whisper what noise could never say. Because the one who is comfortable in quiet confidence does not chase the world. The world moves quietly toward them. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. They speak to be heard, not to grow. But the wise, they observe. They study the room, the tone, the silence between words. They learn more by seeing less. When you choose to observe more and speak less, you step out of the noise of the world and into the clarity of your own awareness. You begin to see things others miss, the truth behind people's words, the patterns in life timing, the opportunities hidden in stillness. The art of observation is a forgotten strength. In a world addicted to talking, the one who listens holds the real power. You see, every moment you stay quiet, you are collecting energy, information, and insight. Observation is not passivity, it's preparation. It's how you learn the rhythms of life before taking action. Think of a master archer. He doesn't release the arrow immediately. He studies the wind, the distance, the tension in his bow. Only when the moment is right does he let go. and that is why he rarely misses. When you speak less, you begin to hear more, not just the voices around you, but the voice within you, the inner guidance that whispers what words often drown out. Observation sharpens intuition. It helps you discern who to trust, when to move, and when to remain still. But to cultivate this awareness, you must quiet the urge to always respond, to always share your opinion. Silence gives space for wisdom to surface. You've probably noticed that those who talk the most often understand the least. Their words flow faster than their thoughts. They speak to feel silence because silence makes them uncomfortable. But silence is where truth hides. When you stop talking, your senses awaken. You start noticing subtle details, the emotion behind a smile, the hesitation in someone's voice, the lessons in your own mistakes. Observation connects you to life in a deeper way. This is not about being withdrawn or disconnected. It's about being intentional. You choose your words the way a sculptor chooses each cut. Precise, meaningful, necessary. You learn that not every thought deserves to be spoken. Some truths are meant to be understood silently. When you observe, you learn how energy moves between people. You begin to feel who drains you and who uplifts you, who means what they say, and who hides behind their words. Observation reveals everything that words try to conceal. When you speak less, you also protect your energy. You stop wasting it on arguments, gossip, or explanations that no longer matter. You learn that silence can be more powerful than confrontation. The calm observer never loses control because they see the game before others even realize they are playing. Observation allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. It gives you mastery over yourself, and that is the foundation of all power. In stillness, you discover how life really works. You begin to see that every moment carries meaning. Every person mirrors a lesson, and every silence is a teacher. When you observe more, you learn to move with timing, not haste, not hesitation, but harmony. You align yourself with what is real instead of getting lost in what is loud. So take a step back, watch more, listen deeper, resist the temptation to always explain or express. Let silence teach you what noise never could, because the more you observe, the wiser you become. The less you speak, the more your words begin to carry weight. In the end, remember this: a calm observer sees 10 steps ahead while the loud ones trip over the next. Be that observer. Move through life quietly, seeing everything, saying only what is needed. Because true strength is not found in being the loudest voice in the room. It's in being the one who sees clearly when everyone else is too busy talking to notice. Peace does not live in noise. It does not thrive where attention is sought, where every thought must be shared or every feeling must be validated. Peace belongs to the discreet, to the one who moves quietly, guards their inner world, and refuses to let the chaos of others disturb the silence within. You may not realize it yet, but the more you talk, the more energy you lose. Every secret revealed, every plan discussed, every emotion spilled before it's understood, it all leaks your power. And when your power leaks, your peace follows. Imagine a candle flame in a quiet room. Its light is steady, its warmth gentle, but open a window and a single gust can blow it out. Your peace is that flame. The window is your mouth. Every time you speak of your plans too early, every time you explain your emotions to those who cannot understand, you open the window and life with all its noise and opinions blows your light away. Discretion is the shield of peace. When you learn to hold your silence not out of fear but from wisdom, something inside you begins to settle. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop craving recognition. You stop explaining your heart to people who haven't earned the right to hear it. There's an incredible strength in being quietly sure of who you are and what you're doing. You become like a mountain, unmoved by the winds of gossip, untouched by the noise around you. The mountain doesn't announce its height. It doesn't justify its presence. It simply stands calm, vast and complete within itself. People often think that sharing everything brings closeness, but too much exposure breeds vulnerability, and not the kind that heals, the kind that weakens. When your private moments become public, your peace starts to fracture. The world begins to have a say in your path. Everyone's opinion becomes an echo in your mind, and slowly start to doubt what you once knew for sure. That's why the wise stay discreet. They protect the sacred space where their dreams are still growing, where their healing is still happening, where their spirit is still learning to walk again. You do not owe the world a story about your journey. You owe yourself the quiet strength to live it. Peace doesn't come from being understood by others. It comes from understanding yourself. That the moment you realize that your inner life doesn't need to be validated by anyone, a powerful calm begins to rise within you. That calm is your peace, and it can only stay if you keep it private. Think of your peace as a garden. Every time you speak unnecessarily, it's as if you leave the gate open. People walk in, step on your flowers, move things around, and leave their footprints behind. But when you close the gate and tend to it in silence, your garden blooms, silence. It becomes a sanctuary not for the world, but for your soul. Discretion is not secrecy born of fear. Silence born of strength. It's knowing when to share and when to stay still, choosing to value your energy more than attention. The quiet life is not a lonely life. It's a free one. Because in quietness, you see the truth. You hear the whisper of your intuition. You feel the steady rhythm of peace beating beneath the noise. So learn to be discreet with your plans, your pain, your progress, and your peace. Let your silence protect your serenity. Let your privacy be your temple. The world does not need to know what you are creating, healing, or becoming. It only needs to see the calm in your presence and the results of your discipline. Because in the end, peace does not belong to the loud, the restless, or the exposed. It belongs to the one who walks quietly, speaks rarely, and lives deeply. In the stillness only they can hear. The most powerful statement you can ever make is silence followed by results. In a world obsessed with noise where everyone wants to announce their goals, defend their progress, and explain their worth, true strength comes from restraint. You don't need to tell people who you are. You don't need to convince them of what you're becoming. You only need to let your results speak, because results carry a language no one can argue with. When you talk about your dreams too early, you invite energy that can interfere with their growth. Words are like sunlight, too much too soon. And even the strongest seed can dry before it roots. But when you keep your plants in the dark soil of silence, they begin to sprout quietly, protected from judgment and resistance. The moment you bloom, the world sees it, and by then there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. Think of the sun. It rises every day silently. It doesn't boast about its light. It doesn't announce its schedule. Yet the entire world moves according to its presence. That is what it means to let your results speak. You become so consistent, so disciplined that your very being becomes proof of your progress. You stop needing to declare what you're doing because your growth becomes visible without a single word. When you speak too soon, your mind starts to believe that talking is the same as doing. You feel accomplished just by sharing your plans. But that illusion is dangerous. It kills momentum. You give away the energy that should have been used for building. Silence, on the other hand, keeps the pressure within, turns words into fuel. Every unspoken dream becomes a quiet force pushing you forward. Every unshared victory becomes a sacred reminder that your purpose is between you and life, not between you and the opinions of others. You must understand the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. True power doesn't shout, it radiates. It's the quiet person in the corner whose discipline is unseen, whose progress is steady, whose results arrive like thunder after lightning, sudden, undeniable, and commanding respect. You don't need to fight for validation when your work makes it impossible to ignore you. Let people underestimate you. Let them think you are still where you were. Let them talk, guess, and wonder. Their noise cannot disturb the stillness of someone who has learned to move in silence. Because when your results arrive, all the talking stops. No one can debate a transformation they can see with their own eyes. Silence keeps your energy pure. It helps you move without resistance. It protects you from distraction and envy. But more importantly, it teaches you humility, the kind of humility that doesn't need recognition to feel fulfilled. You begin to understand that success is not about being seen. It's about becoming, about knowing that your growth doesn't require applause. It only requires persistence, patience, and faith in your process. So work in silence, build quietly, grow privately, keep your vision sacred. Don't rush to show the world your progress. Let time reveal it for you. And when it does, let it be undeniable. Let your transformation make the noise your words never could. Because the truth is simple. Anyone can speak about success, but only the disciplined can live it. And when your actions become your language, your silence becomes your strength. Let the world hear that silence. Let your results roar louder than your voice ever could. When all is said and done, remember this silence is not emptiness. It is the sacred ground where your strength, peace, and destiny are formed. Every word you choose to withhold is not a loss of expression, but a gain of power. The one who guards their voice guards their future. Life is not asking you to prove yourself to anyone. It's asking you to become yourself fully, quietly, and faithfully. Guard your plans as you would guard a flame from the wind. Protect your dreams from careless hands and doubtful minds. Trust that not everyone who listens is loyal and not every smile is sincere. But that truth should not make you bitter. It should make you wise. Let silence be your armor and peace your weapon. Speak less of what you will do and spend more time doing it. The results will always speak louder than the loudest words. Patient with your journey, you are not behind. You are in preparation. Every unseen moment of discipline is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. You are not meant to explain your purpose. You are meant to embody it. The universe rewards those who move with quiet intention, those who act not for recognition but for alignment. Remember, the fruit doesn't rush to ripen. It waits until the time is right, and when it does, it nourishes everything around it. That is how your success should arrive. Naturally, silently, beautifully. If you ever feel misunderstood, do not let it disturb your peace. Your silence will teach what your words never could. People question your stillness. Let them. If they doubt your direction, let them. The same silence they mock today will one day command their respect. Keep your focus sacred, your energy grounded, your actions consistent. You don't owe explanations, only excellence. So tonight and every night, remind yourself of this prayer in your heart. May your path be clear even when it is quiet. May your strength grow even when it is unseen. May your silence protect you from noise that does not belong to your spirit. May your results speak when your words no longer need to. And may your peace become your loudest success. You are not here to impress the world. You are here to evolve within it. Keep your life sacred. Keep your energy pure. Keep your mouth shut, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because those who move in silence do not walk alone. They walk with clarity. They walk with grace. And they walk with the quiet power of destiny on their side.